Well, that was very nice, wasn't it? Straight off the bat, I've got to show you, I'm rocking the Dan Butler Silver Service. Great game from Butler last night. Welcome to Saints TV Weekly. Welcome to the April 24th edition. We played yesterday against the Blues, 3:20 p.m, Marvel Stadium, 45,500 turned up. A lot of them were blue baggers. A lot of them wanted to see them respond after their disappointing loss to the Crows last week. They had a 10-day break. We had a 7-day break. We had Membry and Steele returning. We bloody got the job done. That was fantastic. A 22-point win, 60-82. Again, we've kept a team to under 10 goals. They kicked 8 goals, 12. And we just were brilliant in the second half in particular. The first half, weathered the storm, went into halftime only the 2 points down. And at that point, I thought, great, 2 points, that's all it is. That's the best they've got. And if we go up another gear, I think we've got this. Turns out we went up another gear and we killed the game in the fourth term. Really just stifled any possible chance of them coming back into it and saw the game out very comfortably in the end, which was great. A very mature, very professional response to last week's disappointing 6-point loss to Collingwood. But nonetheless, we are 5-1. We have Friday night football awaiting against Port Adelaide, a team that we love to beat and a team that we struggle to beat. So it's good to have them on the home deck at Marvel Friday night, so can't wait for that. If you want to see more of my review on the Carlton game, highly recommend you go and watch that after this. It's on YouTube, and you've also got the fan cams to enjoy. Marshy went around and spoke to a lot of happy Sainers after the game yesterday, so check that out as well when you can. Now, I think the best part of yesterday for me wasn't just the result, but it was the way we went about it. And we know that Carlton have their big tools. We know they've got Harry Mackay, they've got Charlie Kerner, they've got the 4 umpires as well. Don't look into that too much. I'm glad that we overcame the umps, but yeah, they were pretty shocking. But nonetheless, they got their 2 twin towers, and they're a big focus of the way Carlton play. And for other weeks, you know, our pressure, our effectiveness inside 50, the way we've overwhelmed teams, the way we've gotten them on the outside has been a real standout. But in this game in particular, this is, to me, the first game this year where I can really go, wow, Ross Lyon and coaching staff, you have completely outcoached the opposition. The way that we absorbed what they gave us in that first half was great, but the way then we just pulled them apart bit by bit in that third term, and then to go up that gear and really stifle anything that they could throw at us. That was the key standout for me, is that there were times where they were out in the open and their fans are like out of their seats near me going, go forward, kick it long, go forward, play attacking footy. And then they'd handball it backwards and then they'd chip it backwards and sideways, and then we just set up beautifully behind the ball again. I'd love to see some behind the goals footage of the way we defended this game. But they had nowhere to go. And I thought, we're only going to win this by 20 points, but the way the game felt in the second half, it felt like a 40 odd point, difference. The fact that we were 16 points up, I think, midway through the fourth term, when they kicked the first early goal from Silvani, but to make it feel like it was 30, 40 points, that plays on the opposition. It just really doesn't give them any sort of momentum. I thought Silvani kicks that goal, which he did. I'm like, okay, they're only 3 goals down here. The crowd's going to get up and about. This is a big next goal. But that next goal never came. We killed the game. I'm pretty sure we kicked the one more goal after that. Mitch Owen's long bomb from 70, if you don't mind. And then the game was done. We just chipped it around, took every bit of strength out of them, took their strengths and threw them out the window, it was just such a professional performance. I'm so proud of the boys. It just shows again that we've got so many different gears, different avenues, and Cal Wilkie wasn't at his best, Jack Steele wasn't at his best, but we got the job done. So that was the key standout for me. What was great as well was during the week, Damien Barrett, he does his sliding doors, as you guys know, and a lot of you saw what he did this week, and a lot of you messaged me and showed me what he said, and it was, if I'm going to make a big call in round 6, then it's this: underdog Blues are certainties to beat Saints. Still reckon they finish top 4. Certainties, Damo, eh? Yeah, not really. not really at all. That was a great prediction there. And he's done that a few times this year, Damo. He doesn't really like pumping up the Saints, but I did tweet at him yesterday and that felt good just to kind of just get back into it. And it's good to be proving a lot of people wrong. A lot of people have tipped us to finish bottom, wooden spoon, tipped against us during the year, and that's their opinion. That's perfectly fine. They're allowed to do that. But for us to just put all that aside and to keep getting the job done. Last week, we pushed a very good Collingwood team very close. And then to bounce back like this was super, super important. And you'd forgive some of the youngsters for being overwhelmed by the occasion, by being a bit fatigued, a bit tired. But there's no excuses in this team. This team does not believe in excuses. It's so weird to think that a year ago, we were pulling excuses out of thin air for why we weren't winning. We don't have that anymore. And you watch Ross Lyon's presser and the way he goes about it, it was just class. He exudes confidence. This is a perfect example of an article I read this morning by Jonathan Horn. Really good article. And the title is Systems and Smarts Have Ross Lyon Defying Stats to Put His Winning Stamp on St Kilda. I thought that was a great title for an article. I had to mention it in today's video. And it's because it's true. We are such a disciplined system-based team that it's almost annoying for the opposition, because it's like, you always see ebbs and flows in games where teams, lose discipline, they lose focus. We have not done that yet. We continually stick to our structure. We believe that it stacks up, and we keep getting the reward because we believe in what we're doing. We're not just doing it. We literally know that if we do it and do it consistently for 4 quarters, we will win these games more times than we don't. And the proof is in the pudding. We've pretty much played 3 or 4 good quarters every week, and we've won 5 of 6 games, and there's a big chance in the next 2 weeks to stamp that top 4 position even more, starting on Friday night. So you see a team like Carlton, they've got all the talent in the world. They've got 2 Coleman medalists, and they've got a Brownlow medalist, and they've got an All-Australian fullback. The spine of a team that should be challenging. Didn't matter for us. It did not matter to the Sainers of 2023. We don't have that. We don't have a Coleman medalist. We don't have a Brownlow medalist. We've got one All-Australian running around, don't we? And Jack Sinclair. That's it. And Jack Steele, he returned yesterday, who again wasn't himself. And it didn't matter because everyone played their part. Everyone believes in what Ross Lyon and the coaching staff are selling. And when you believe in something like that, it's very hard to beat because every player knows what they need to do. Every player is focused and driven. And it just makes you a very, very tough collective. And that's the way everyone is describing St Kilda at the moment, is we're a tough collective. So could not be more stoked with the way we're going about it. And on the flip side, VFL as well, we went down to Carlton by 3 points in a pretty close game all day. But obviously, we've got to go through some of these key names. Jack Billings made his return, and that was really, really exciting. He had the 22 possessions and kicked 3 goals straight. So that's a really, really great return for Jack Billings. Tom Campbell had 19, kicked a goal, and 29 hitouts as well. That's a great game from him. And Jack Bytel, who was omitted this week, wasn't the sub. Marcus Winhager was the sub. He went back to the VFL level and did what he needed to do. 39 disposals, 20 kicks, 19 handballs, 3 marks, 4 tackles. That's exactly what you want from Jack Bytel. From any player that's not getting a gig in the firsts, the top of the table first, mind you, they're doing the business at VFL level. And unfortunate to not get the win, but individually, a lot of these players, especially JB, great to see him back out there. Hitting form was really, really good. Tom Highmore got the 19 disposals as well and 7 marks, so continued his form. Leo Connolly, 21 disposals, and working his way back into it. All the players that are looking to stamp their claims for either returning position or maybe a debut in the near future, they're doing the business. I'm not sure if Cooper Sharman, did he play? Let's have a look just very quickly. He might have been emergency, so he probably didn't play. Doesn't look like it. So, there's a lot of players there to come into the starting lineup if they continue their VFL form. But at AFL level, we're doing the business. So it just makes that battle for spots even more intense, which is outstanding. And on top of that, injuries. Let's quickly go through them. Obviously, Jack Steele returned. Didn't look himself, but he'll be good in the long run. Isaac Keeler. I played at Sandy, Jack Billings as well. Zach Jones was listed as 1 to 2 weeks, so you'd think he's 1 week away from returning from his Achilles. Jimmy Webster's 2 to 3 weeks away. Nick Caulfield is 2 to 4 weeks away. Max King, 3 to 5 weeks away, but I still think that's a bit closer than what they're saying. I reckon he's close to 2 to 3 weeks, but we'll see. Jack Hayes still got a good 10 weeks. Ollie Houghton as well. And then Dan McKenzie, Matty Allison, and Angus McLennan. Can't even say his name. Indefinite. So those guys probably aren't going to get back for any major part of the season, but there's a lot of good players there that are going to be fighting their way back into the 22, and some of them are going to find it very, very difficult to even get back into the 22, which is a really good sign. And then on the back of that, Sainers, it brings us to Friday night football at Marvel, round 7 football against Port Adelaide, a team that we don't play in Melbourne very often, but a big opportunity here. They've had a couple of wins in a row. They've played a few of the bottom teams, but they're getting good wins on the board. They're going to be missing a couple of big names. I think Todd Marshall's going to be out. Jonas is going to be out. I think they're going to have Charlie Dixon, possibly not their ruckman as well. So they're going to be missing a few big men. And hopefully, we didn't get any injuries yesterday. So clean bill of health, maybe a player returning. But if not, I think we go in with an unchanged team. Maybe Jack Bytel comes in, or even JB. It'd be interesting to see what we do with Jack Billings with a solid return to VFL level, whether he gets another week or not. But it's a big opportunity to go 6-1, believe it or not. So Port Adelaide are going to be a challenging outfit. They're very physical. They're a mature outfit. They've got a lot of senior boys. And they've got some good players all over the ground. So we're going to have to be switched on for that one. But it's exciting to have a Friday night game. 5-day break as well. That's really good. I love going from the Sunday to the Friday. It just feels like, after today, you're almost back into just previewing the next game that's only a couple of days away, which is great, especially when you're winning. You just want to keep rolling on with it. Don't slow that momentum down. Just keep going. Notch up the wins. We go through Port, and then I think we've got North, and then we go to Adelaide and play Adelaide in a big game at Adelaide Oval. So I can't wait for it, Sainers. That's the news for the week. There's not a hell of a lot going around apart from just really good vibes around the footy club, really good feelings about what the club is doing and what the players are delivering. So hopefully you enjoyed the game yesterday. Hopefully you're enjoying all the coverage from Saints TV. As I mentioned, my review is already out, so make sure you watch that. And then the fan cams with Marshy are out as well. And we've got the podcast tonight. So it's going to be a fun chat in the studio with Joycey and Marshy. And then obviously you've got Max and Jordan tomorrow night, Saints TV Live. My preview on Wednesday, Thursday will drop. And then the game quickly coming around already for round 7 Friday night footy at Marvel. Bring it on. I can't wait for it. So I'll leave it there, Saints. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Saints TV Weekly, brought to you by obviously Inglewood Coffee Roasters. Go to www.inglewoodcoffeeroasters.com.au and then use the discount code Saints40 and get 40% off coffee, tea and chai products. Have a sip of those. Enjoy the highlights. Enjoy the replay a few times this week, Saints, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care. And as always, go you mighty Saints. See you guys.